Good morning, soul sisters. Welcome to my channel. I am Angel, and this is Notes on a Lazy Sunday, where I share my life, learning and lessons for the benefit and expansion of the sisterhood, a space for Black and deeply melanated women to commune and connect. So, grab your coffee or tea, but don't spill it. Settle down, snuggle up, and lean in. Firstly, let me offer an apology. I was unable to post last week, which disappointed me greatly, if I'm honest. It was just a week chock full with courses and studying, which meant I had little time to sit and conceive of the week's message, and I really didn't want to send out something half-hearted. Dear sisters, today I'd like to share some insights I have had from that busy week and from my lived experience. I hope you've all had a blessed week and that this week's message is useful to you in some way. Well, it's been a week, I can tell you. You see, for 3 years now, I've been putting my all into carving out a new career path for myself. Despite consistent effort and doing all that was necessary, nothing seemed to be shifting. It felt as though there was an invisible spiritual force field that was causing resistance and keeping me on the outside, just out of reach of my vision. Application after application, in-person meetings online, traveling to other cities, mostly requiring 5-hour coach journeys one way and, if affordable, 2-hour plus journeys both ways. Invariably, and due to the reactive nature of my new profession, many requests are last minute, and more often than not, find myself turning on a sixpence to make a meeting deadline. You never know which one could be the one that launches you and leads to building a substantial career, I tell myself. But this always means a huge financial outlay, most often creating even greater debt and the guilt and feelings of irresponsibility that accompany that. So at the start of the week, I was physically exhausted from yet another one of these last-minute excursions, and my head hurt from the mental Punch and Judy show that I had going on between two specific thoughts. Number one, should I give up? Nothing's moving. Maybe it's a sign I'm just not meant for this. And thought number two, no, another rejection is just another step closer to a yes. Back and forth between my cheerleader and my depressive other. My head pounded between these two thoughts as they ricocheted inside my brain. The thought of changing direction again made me feel physically sick, and I knew I didn't want to. I didn't have the energy to. There was no way I was going backwards to the daily grind. So how do you get where you want to go and realize the vision you've always had for your life? A couple of days respite, and I've deduced that the first thing my experience and that spirit or God or the ancestors or whomever you believe guides your life is teaching me is, number one, exercise patience. Something that I've had to learn to acquire during the course of my life. If any of you listening have a spiritual belief at all, then you know that it's a part of your destiny. You know that if it's a part of your destiny, you know it because you can see it in your mind's eye, and every fibre of your being just feels the path that you're seeking is right for you. It will come, but in the timing that is perfect for your soul's development and not when you expect it to. So patience. Now this is a pain, because patience is no walk in the park, and spirit likes to joke. Bringing in opportunities, positions on your path that you know are perfect for you, only to have you disappointed again. Girl, we Black women have had a real belly full of disappointment. So at times it can be particularly hard for us to stay optimistic. Another knockback or no response, another we found a more suitable candidate, often has us retching as we immediately climb aboard the "was my blackness anything to do with it" merry-go-round and analyse the minutiae of every facial and hand gesture in the interview, every body position, recalling the energy in the room just to discern why we've been rejected again. We prepared well, didn't we? This was the one, wasn't it? These thoughts add to the already overfull cup of rejections, slights and disappointments that come with the territory of being a black woman in diaspora. Now, number 2, and this is going to sound woo-woo, but number 2 is change your energetic state and follow your bliss. Yes, I'll say that again. Spirit I deduced is teaching me that I need to change my energetic state and follow my bliss. You see, these recent weeks, being as exhausted as I was at the end of 2023, I kind of got vexed. I was just fed up of being positive and hopeful, and started to increasingly feel that some of these meetings, these interviews, which were costing me a fortune to attend, were just like cattle markets, and I'd had enough of them. In my vexation, I decided I'm just going to show up. They're not going to get the hours of prep, nor the anxiety and pressure that I used to put myself through with everyone, hoping that this was the one that I would get. And then one day, scrolling idly on YouTube, I came across a channeled message from someone called Daryl Anker. I'd not heard of him before. But in that message, there was a phrase that just seemed to resonate, and it etched itself in my mind. The message mentioned the many ways to realize our purpose here on earth, but one thing that he said, it just lit me up inside, and a light went on inside my head. What he said was that in every moment we are to follow our bliss. In so doing, those little moments of following our bliss will lead to and create the blissful vision that we see for ourselves in our mind's eye and the life that we want to live. Now, most of us see bliss as something we'll get to when we've got the money or the job or the girl or the boy or the promotion or the car we desire. But his further explanation was that in each and every moment of our lives, we are to choose that thing which ignites us. That thing which makes our heart skip, our palms tingle, our bodies shiver. You see, he explained, it's in so doing that we raise our vibration. And in this raised vibrational state, we attract to us and not chase after and not push for or put effort into the highest level experience that's possible for our lives. For some reason, that phrase kept playing and playing in my head like the tinkling melody of an old-fashioned music box, and it just stuck. He further clarified that it's just the grand vision. He further clarified that it isn't just the grand vision we should chant and pour our energies into. It is in the little things, moment to moment. Do I want to sit and snuggle with my son on the sofa right now, or do the dishes? Do in that moment what would feel blissful for you. Do I want coffee or tea? Would I prefer to eat Italian or a home-cooked meal? Do I want to plait my hair or have a twist out today? He stressed, it is when we do what we truly want in our hearts that our energy and vibration rises, not what we feel we should or ought to do. These activities are executed out of a feeling of obligation, and that creates a lowering of our energies. So even when in a specific moment your choice comes to be one between two actions or tasks that seem mundane, if you do the one which feels more blissful, there will be 4 positive outcomes. Firstly, you're going to enjoy that particular task or chore more, and the enjoyment of it means your inner emotions are elevated. Number 2, the boosted energy, the uplifted mood and delight created as you move through the world, smiling from the inside, will waft out into the cosmos, seeking a similar resonance of energies to align itself with. Number 3, the synchronicities that bring you closer to your heart's desire, increase as your resonance attracts more and more higher and more abundant occurrences that reflect back to you the happier, more blissful state that you're exuding. I hope that makes sense. Rewind the video here a few times. It may take a minute to sink in. Number 4, he stated too that we need to be mindful of what we're saying to the universe, to others and especially to ourselves. He said that the universe doesn't know fact from fiction. So if your inner voice is constantly telling you you're no good with money, guess what? It will attract to you more situations in which you get to demonstrate just how awful you are with money. The universe is an echo chamber, and it will throw back at you what you send out into it. The echo chamber analogy I'd heard before, but somehow it really hit home and I got it. A massive light went on. Now, if you're currently or constantly berating yourself for anything at all, then because the universe only knows commands, it will bring to you on your command, which is, I guess, why all the fairy tales about genies say you have to command. And that's why the good books, the spiritual texts always say, in the beginning was the word. Because our voices and what we say, I don't think we realize just how powerful and important what we send out into the universe through our voice is. So a command means it'll throw back to you what you feed it. Situations that confirm the command that you've just uttered. And then because you're recreating a belief you already have, and then the situations and events that come as a result conspire to reaffirm what you just said, the belief that you already have becomes more ingrained. You're even more convinced that what you're experiencing is just how it is and it's just law for you and nothing will ever change. The change, my dear sisters, starts on the inside. Before anything happens, the voice you send out and the message attached has to change. Like I said, after playing it in my head a few times, this really resonated with me. And for 2 weeks or so now, maybe 3, I think, I've been catching myself and focusing on what I want to do in as many moments as I remembered to. I've been catching my thoughts and pulling them back and shifting them, transposing the negative ones into more positive ones. And what I've found is that the day-to-day still gets done, but with less resentment or challenge, because when I do choose to do them, I'm happier and ready to tackle the task. I'm already elevated, and I definitely execute it quicker. I mean, just consider the last time something awful happened or you were let down or disappointed. Another time that conviction you have about yourself or your life was confirmed. Think about it. Your energy became low, didn't it? And I'm guessing it became just that bit more difficult to raise yourself out of this lowered energetic state. In a state like this, everything seems more bleak, and even day-to-day tasks, easy tasks or thoughts sometimes seem insurmountable. So I concluded 4 things as a result of my practice of raising and changing the thoughts I was having. Number 1, as Dory the fish repeatedly says in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, swimming, just keep swimming. Meaning, keep doing, even though you're fed up of a lack of positive response. Keep doing the do. Keep getting up and doing that thing. It takes a minute or 2 of heat to change the temperature of a pot of water from cold to hot, no? So if you've been sending out negative vibes, negative words about yourself, your situation, your life, it's going to take a minute or 2 of warmer, hotter ones to shift the temperature a little bit. So don't think that you're just going to be able to shift that thought and those things you say to yourself in a day or so, and that's going to change everything. But if you be consistent, if you just keep swimming, 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 keep doing, you will see the energy start to change. The second thing I concluded was that let the outcome of what you're doing or the expectation of it go. and then go back to just finding your bliss in the next moment. Because the letting go means that you're not agonizing over it. Because I'm guessing agonizing will lower your vibration. And if you're in your bliss, you're not caring too much anyway because you're just too damned happy. So there's no agony. Number 3, life is inside out. I mean, even in the field of quantum physics, the scientists have accepted and proved that everything is energy. So whether you believe my woo-woo premise or not, even the scientists admit everything is vibrating just at different speeds. And this determines whether an item is a solid, a liquid, or a gas, or indeed a vibration. Everything is emitting and receiving energy and being influenced by energy. Now, anecdotally, we know this. We've all been in a room and felt when there's a difference of opinion or a downright an argument has taken place because we felt the energy. I mean, the phrase "you could cut the atmosphere with a knife" references this phenomenon. We know what love is. We can't touch it, smell it, taste it, but we feel it. It's an energetic transmission. At this point, I took a break because I was noting my thoughts down and then I realised I had a webinar to attend. So I'm going to return, and this is what I put down as I returned later that day to my message to you. It's now 23:25 on Friday the 2nd of February. And as I continue recording today's message, I mention this because I took a brief break to attend an online course. My dear ones, let me tell you that a dream of mine came through in part as a result, and this is perfectly illustrating my message here. You see, since focusing on my energy, the thoughts that I'm thinking, consciously pouring in a mantra of what I want to happen in my experience rather than focusing on what is happening in my experience, that things that I'm not maybe happy with, I have felt a shift in the energy that I feel within. And it seems that shifting the energy within has begun to create a shift in the experience in my outer world as well as a result. 2 opportunities that I never would have dreamed of. Small steps, yes, towards what I have spent 3 years endeavouring to manifest. Remember at the beginning I said it felt like there was just a wall, an invisible shield of resistance. They've suddenly appeared in my life in the last 2 weeks. One of them just now after I finished my webinar. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that these outer manifestations have occurred after a few days and weeks of focused thought and inspired action. So, my dear sister, even though I'm aware that in this modern world, well, indeed, since the dawning of the modern era, when we as a people encountered the European, our experience has mostly been one of striving and overcoming. I know this. In this context, it is usual, and no one can blame you to be focused on the struggle, the how, and of your situation. But what my most recent experience has taught me in a most explicit and profound way is that we have it all wrong. Now, I know many of you, myself included, who follow a spiritual or religious path, we know this. However, if we're honest with ourselves, it has only taken a small incident, mishap or emergency to have us refocusing again on our lack or whatever challenge we face that day, and then allowing it to bring our energy and vibration spiraling downwards. The, oh hell, what am I going to do situations. They tire us physically, emotionally and spiritually, and it's hard. I know, I get that. Trust me, sis, I have been there more times than I care to recall in my more than half a century on this earth. Now, I would love to see the majority of my melanated sisters rising and thriving and living the kind of lives they envisage in their dreams. I have this fantasy, it's a powerful one, and I have this profound belief that it's the black woman who will save the world, so to speak, because as the ultimate outsider, we have the best vantage point to see what society needs in order to heal. In the main, we are treated as not being a part of it. In addition, I greatly admire our grace in the face of adversity, our dignity in the face of criticism, and our power when sometimes violently we are denigrated and put down. We, the black woman, the melanated carrying female, we are the creators of all mankind. Only we carry the mitochondrial DNA from which all of humanity issued forth. And that's not just a belief we hold. Even the white scientists say the same thing. Now, if we are to rescue this world, as pitiful as society currently is in parts, then we need to be the fiercest warrior queens, the strongest self-loving queens. We need to use our wisdom and experience to guide and our compassion to uplift and support and speak gently to ourselves. But we need to be stable in all ways, healthy and trusting in our mission, and that we are supported, and that requires us to be rich in all ways. To be rich in all ways, we're required to cultivate belief and a consistent focus on the abundance that is possible for us. That, coupled with patience and never giving up the hope that there is magic in the universe, that God, Spirit, Allah, the angels, whatever name you attribute to that divine presence outside of yourself, will support you once you align to the highest energies. I hope to live to see that world where we step into our rightful place, respected as the mother that we are, walking in our dignity and grace, and acknowledged as the formidable and compassionate agents of change that we have every potential to be. That vision, that world, starts with you believing, dear sister, all that is within yourself. For when you do, if my experience of the last few weeks is anything to go by, then with patience and consistent focus on who we can be, have, and do, and not what we currently are, have, and do, we will miraculously align us to the best of life. And it is in this space that we can show up as the dark, mysterious, and compassionate warrior angels that we are. So I'll leave it there for today. Why not put it to the test? Challenge my thinking and let me know if things begin to shift for you, because I'd really love to hear your results. Now, if you enjoyed what you just heard, well, you know how this works. Please give the video a like or a share. Subscribe to the channel because it really does help to make it grow. And if you know of any other woman who might like to hear content like this, it helps to grow the channel if you pass it on to her. Helps me to create more powerful and meaningful content for you. And so I'll leave it there for this episode. I hope it was thought-provoking, comforting, and uplifting. My aim always is to create a space for connection and comfort for the Black female collective and whoever resonates with this message. So for now, I wish you love, light, and prosperity as you journey to your greatest you.